guys, welcome back to Encounter and Inspire episode 3. So today with a very special guest that is in the States, and our time gap is 15 or 16 hours. So her name is Audrey, and let's pass the time to her to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Audrey. I'm currently studying in Loma Linda University and I'm studying occupational therapy.
Not to drag, so what do you have for us, Audrey? Like, what's your testimony for us?
So today I'm gonna tell you about my journey, like how I ended up here in Loma Linda and how God has been teaching me to trust Him more.
Okay, so talking about trust, I actually read through, we actually talked about this before we record. So it reminds me of my own life also, where I have been through a stage that I had to make a very important decision, and it requires so much surrendering. Like, it's not a one-time surrender thing, but it's like a daily surrender. So what's your experience in your journey?
Alright, so let me just start from the beginning. And so I graduated from college in 2018. And so I was in the States at the time, and then I went back to Malaysia after I graduated. And then when I was in Malaysia, I was contemplating if I should further my studies to study, OT or occupational therapy. Yes, I was just contemplating because the program in the US it's very competitive, and like they only take like 30 to 50 people out of like hundreds of applicants every year, and I also had to pay for the application fees. Like it's like a lot. Maybe the total would be like probably almost $1,000.
She meant $1,000.
So I didn't know if it's like worth it or not. And I also had the desire to go for full-time ministry, but then I wasn't sure if that's what God wanted me to do, and so I was just praying, and then just thinking, did a lot of research. And part of me also felt like I didn't want to become a burden to my family if I further my study, because they would have to pay for my tuition fee and everything, and it's gonna be more expensive. Graduate school is more expensive than undergrad. So just thinking, and sometimes at times I was thinking like if it's all gonna be worth it, like if I apply and I didn't get to any school and the money would just go to waste. So there's a lot of things going through my mind at the time, and so I just prayed to God. I remember that one I just prayed to God, and I said, Lord, if you want me to go overseas, then open the door for me. Like if I get accepted to like one of the schools, then I would take that as a yes, as an open door, as I will take that as your will for me to go study overseas, because again, like it's very competitive, and I didn't know that, like I was not sure if I would get into a school, and because and I was just not sure. So I just prayed that, and then so I just decided to just apply to schools, and if I don't get into any school, then okay, then God wanted me to stay in Malaysia. So fast forward a few months later, I got an email from Loma Linda University that I got accepted. But the funny thing is, I wasn't happy. Because because I should be happy, right? Like I got accepted, but then I wasn't happy because first of all, like that wasn't actually Loma Linda is not actually my first choice. Like I wanted to go to my previous school in Ohio because I guess it's cheaper, and also I could continue doing campus ministry there, which I did when I was in undergrad. And I was thinking, like, what can I do, like, in Adventist school? Like, what can I do for God? So that was my mindset at the time, like, going to Adventist school. It's like, what can I do for God in that?
So Ohio,
It's Ohio.
that school in Ohio is not Adventist?
No, yeah, it's a public school. Yeah, it's a secular campus. Yeah. Okay, and then after that is just details about like the process, and I don't want to bore you guys with those details. So just fast forward. I was still thinking, and so at this time I was in Anan. Okay, I was in Anan.
Yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah, that's where we met. Correct. So yeah, I was in Anan, and then when I was in Anan, I was also completing my procedure for my admission to school. And yeah, so that week, like I remember that 1 week where I had to make decision. I really had to make a decision to go to LLU or not. I remember just every day. So I journaled this. Okay, so that's why I remember the details. Like yeah, so every day, like there would be like someone talking to me about like surrendering to God, and about trusting God, and about God will guide me, or yeah, just along those lines. Like it really, it's like God was giving me like reassurance that don't be scared. Yeah, like it's just I could really sense like God was speaking to me through different people. And when I read my Bible, like I would, like Psalm 37 would appear in my in my devotion or something, yeah, which talks about like delight yourself in the Lord, and trust also in Him, and then commit your way to Him, and then He will bring it to pass. So just things like that. And I remember that night, like I was really restless, but I remember that night, one night, that I prayed to God, like, Lord, if you really want me to go to Loma Linda University, like please, like prepare my heart, like help my unbelief. And like I know I'm focusing too much on what I want and what I think is like better for me or more convenient for me, and so I give this decision to you, Lord, because you know better than I do, and your ways are higher than mine. Yeah, just like a prayer of surrender to God. And yeah, and then I remember clearly after I prayed that prayer, like all of a sudden, like I just felt that sense of peace. Like I just couldn't describe it. It's like something lifted off my shoulder. It's like I just felt like like wow. And yeah, and then all of a sudden, like I started to think about like I don't know why I all of a sudden I felt like excited to go to LLU. Like I just I just felt that sense of peace, and also like excitement about what God has in store for me in that university. And I know it may be like for some people like this is, I don't know, like I guess not a big decision, but for me it's a big decision, because it's a big decision for me. And so I'm just thankful, like that God was just so good. God is just so good. Like He, like that week He just kept reassuring me, and like it's very so sweet. So Wilson is my boyfriend. He before I prayed that prayer that night, like I was actually talking to him that day, during the day, I just told him about my worries, about my concern, and then he said that, remember, like you've experienced God's like provision before, right? You experienced that, like he has provided for you before, like, so what makes you think that He won't provide for you now? and that actually really stuck with me, and then that actually like that made me, how to say, to pray that prayer that night. So now, yeah, so I accepted to go to LLU, and it's also clear that God wanted me to go to Loma Linda because all of the other doors are closed. Like I applied to 3 other universities, and they're all like rejected me. So it's really clear that God wanted me to go to Loma Linda. So fast forward again after a few months, like to like maybe a week before I was supposed to fly out, and yeah, I had some like passport issue, and yeah, it's just a lot, it's very stressful, and I actually missed my first flight. Like I booked the flight to go to California, but yeah, just I missed it, and then because of the passport issue, so I had to rebook another flight. So yeah, that's a whole other story, but yeah, but thank God it got settled, because I'm here now. And the night, I remember also the night before my flight, I was so scared. I don't know why, but that night I was just like so super scared, and I remember I was like sweating when I was in my bed, and I was sweating, and I was like shaking, and now I think back, maybe I had a panic attack because I was very scared. Like I was so scared. Because I was reminded of like my journey in Ohio when I first got to Ohio. Like it was lonely, new country, no friends, and I couldn't really my English was like bad at the time. So I remember that I had to go through all of this again, and now I have like financial problems, and even though like God provided me like money to go to Loma Linda, like application, everything, and then also the first semester, it's the first year it's settled, but then I don't know how I'm gonna pay after that. So I was also worried about that, and but I prayed, and then so I got calmer. So yeah, I guess like through this experience, it's a process. Like surrendering is not a one-time thing. It's like like you said, day to day, and again, surrendering again and again, and God has proven to me that He's faithful over and over again. And now I'm here, and then it's just amazing like how. So the first year I thought I wouldn't be able to like pay, for the rest, pay for my tuition fee for the rest of my program. And then for some reason, like every quarter, so we don't call it semester here, we call it quarter. For some reason, like every quarter, like it's just I always have enough money to pay. And then my friend, and sometimes like for 1 week I don't have to cook for like a week, because somebody will always give me food. Like
so happy. Well fed there.
Well fed. Like
I remember I saw a photo during Christmas, I think, of a tofuki. It's a vegetarian vegetarian type of turkey. Well, the food is just amazing, man, on the table.
And then like even like small things, like at one time like I wanted like more masks. How like right now I like at the beginning I only have like 2 masks, and then it kind of make my skin like bad, and then and then I don't know, like I have like a lot of masks now, and a lot of them are like gifts. And then like I wanted like earphone before, and then the next day or the next week, like a friend would give me like a pair or like earphones. So just like small like little things, like God cares about like the little things. Like He provided for me, and and God has just like been blessing me with like the community here. Like I'm really grateful for the community here. And also like my mindset before, like, you know, how am I gonna like evangelize, or how am I gonna share God in an Adventist institution? But I was so wrong, and there are so many evangelism opportunity here. And actually, like, coming here, I learned how to say, being here made me see or look at evangelism differently, and yeah, it's just I learned what it actually means to evangelize, or to share Jesus. Yeah, it's not just about like inviting people to Bible study. It's more than that. And yeah, it's, you know, how you live your life, and it's how you interact with other people. So I think that's it, Charmaine.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Audrey. So your testimony really reminds me of my life, where I had to make a decision, a very important and big decision to me. And the struggling part for me was the surrendering part. And yeah, like, to pray that prayer, it feels like you had to sacrifice a lot, but at the end, actually, you are blessed, because the life I plan, I think, is very convenient. Like, I get to do this, I get to be around with the people I want, but actually, God always wants the best, and He definitely knows the best for us. And I remember you said that, because when Audrey was applying, when you were applying your schools, you were in NN, right? So I also hear a few times where you say you were really stressed, and then yeah, the finance was also one of the big burden, yeah, because it's a lot. But I'm glad that God led you all the way there, and you're blessed. And so before I end, do you have anything to say, Audrey?
Yeah, where God leads, He provides. You know, God is faithful, and He promised to take care of us, and that, you know, He will never leave us. I know that we as humans, we like to be in control, and sometimes we plan stuff without seeking Him first. So that's why I think that, you know, trusting God and surrendering to God is something that we need to learn throughout our lives. And we need to ask Him to reveal His plan for us, because He knows what's best for us. And the Bible says that, you know, for I know that the thoughts that I have towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. So I just encourage, like, all of us to really just get to know God, because, you know, you can't trust someone you don't know, right? You have to know someone enough to trust them. So that's the same thing with God too. And yeah, and just, you know, keep your eyes on Him and have faith in Him. Then the things in this world, including your problem, my problem, will grow dim. So yeah.
So these few days, I also heard a saying that is like, you can allow doubts and fear to fly over you, but don't let it nest on you. Yeah, don't let it nest on you. Like, you can think about it, but pray and get up and start it again. So that's all for episode 3. Thank you, Audrey, for joining. And we wanted to do this like yesterday, and even before that, but because of our time gap and our schedules, we just could not make it. But I praise God that we're finally able to record it today, hopefully upload. Yeah, when you see this video, it's already uploaded anyway. So thank you for tuning in into Encounter and Inspire. So thank you for watching all the way to the end of episode 3. I believe that every encounter with God will definitely inspire others as you share. So if you would like to see this channel grow or even grow with this channel, I hope you will like and share and subscribe this channel, this video with your share it to your friends. So thank you for joining in, and see you in the next episode. Adios! connection problem. Connection
Okay,
problem.
Okay, let me repeat that. Like, okay.
Okay.
But thank God, like, yeah, thank God it got cut. Wait.
It's like the plan you planned, it's a very like you plan the most convenient. Cut. What am I talking? Thank you guys for joining in into tuning in.